Hello and welcome back to the Sex Advent Calendar, 25 days of sex education all through the month of December. This is our last week of videos, and I am bringing you interviews with wonderful friends and colleagues who are doing exciting work in the field of sex education and wellness. I have my friend Tania Chatterjee here with me, who is the co-founder of the South Asian Sexual Health Alliance, and I'm so excited for her to tell you a little bit about the work that they do with this group.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm one of the co-founders of the South Asian Sexual Health Alliance, and kind of the motive for forming this was, it's still a baby, you know, it's our baby, it's growing. The motive was that basically in the South Asian community growing up, we don't really talk about a couple of different issues. That a lot of that is, around sexual health or sex education, mental health, and LGBTQ issues. And a lot of these issues are super stigmatized in the community as well, which is part of the reason that we don't talk about it. And so myself and a few peers of mine just had casual conversations around the fact that we don't talk about this. And then it kind of clicked that, oh, maybe we should do something about it. We say that, it's geared towards youth, to have people to talk to that we maybe didn't have to talk to when we were growing up, when we might have been going through challenges regarding these issues. And so we would like to not have that for, the future generations or even our peers right now. And so that's how SASHA was born.
And what kinds of work do you do with the community? What are some of your major projects?
So the very first project that we worked on was, there's a really big Bengali conference. So I'm from India and I'm from the state of West Bengal, and there's a lot of us. So we have a conference every year, and in 2016 summer, it was in New York City, and they always have a very good youth program. So we pitched an idea to do like a Bengali birds and bees kind of seminar, and we were, being a little stealthy about it. We didn't, we told the youth group what it was about, but we didn't necessarily advertise it to anybody else. But we had a huge turnout, and we talked about a lot of the issues that we together face. We're all first-generation Americans, and we kind of balance these two identities of being brown and being American, and a lot of it's conflicting. So like, how do you balance all of that? And so we had a great turnout, and the best part was just as people warmed up and shared stories that you were just kind of like, oh, I'm not alone. I was not the only one that had these experiences growing up. So did 35 other people in this room. And so it was a great bonding experience. So that was a great start, and we felt very energized and said, okay, this could actually happen. This could actually go places, and move forward and hopefully actually benefit somebody. After that, we had the opportunity to do a couple of workshops at University of Maryland. So spring of this year, during their UMD Sex Week, we did 2 workshops, and we did another workshop for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And those workshops spanned a couple of different topics. One was about how a lot of, stigmas and stereotypes and kind of negative things come from Bollywood and how they might influence our behavior, and we might not even realize it. Things like stalking and the kind of interactions we see in movies between 2 lovers or a couple or someone who likes somebody else and things like that, and stereotypes around appearance and gender identity and gender roles and things like that, and how they can be negative. As you can see, I have a lot of thoughts on Bollywood. So second workshop was just on stigmas in general that we face as South Asians, first generation Americans. Kind of like what I said, balancing those 2 identities plus other identities that we have together. And the third one, which was for AAPI Heritage Month, was on substance abuse and mental health stigmas. This is, we all balance SASHA along with our professional lives and other things. So it doesn't always move as fast as we want it to, but it's still going, it's moving, and we're always still committed to moving it forward. one of the things we have in the works, which I'm super excited about, is a podcast.
Ooh.
So maybe by this winter, we should be able to have an episode or two out. Because right now we have a Facebook page and we post articles every week, and but it's not the same kind of interaction as having a podcast and having listeners and hopefully having people call in and cool things like that. We have high hopes, really, really high hopes.
I love it. That's great. So the cool thing about the Sex Advent calendar is I've had the chance to talk to a number of groups that really target specific communities and definitely subsections of communities of color. And so I'm curious, what do you feel like are some of the unifying experiences or needs of the South Asian community that your organization tries to serve?
Mental health needs are, I think, more relevant than ever, because you hear about so many people, even among our friends and families, who might be going through depression and anxiety and things like that, but don't ever speak up or don't know how to speak up, or there's so much stigma where it's like, oh, you have depression, go take a walk in the park, get a hobby, like that kind of thing. LGBTQ issues and LGBTQ rights, just the right to marry or love someone that you choose to, that's everywhere. Gay marriage is legal, but that doesn't mean it's not, discriminated against. That doesn't mean that anyone who's not, heteronormative in this country is just like free and can do whatever they want. Like, there's bathroom laws, there's just all kinds of crap in your way, so I feel like those are just things that just need advocates, no matter what community you belong to. And everyone has the right to comprehensive sex ed everywhere in the world, every community, because you should know what's going on with your body. You should know how to make your choices and what's right for you. And that's not saying that sex ed will tell you like, this is right, this is wrong, but it should be like, here are the choices. Choose what you want, choose whether you want to put on a condom or not. If you don't, that's fine. But here are the risks if you don't do that. So that's how I view sex ed. The unique spin for us is that our South Asian identity makes these things perhaps more challenging in some way. And because we are South Asian, we want to be able to provide these resources with that understanding of what it's actually like to belong to this community and have those challenges.
So if you had sort of one piece of advice for folks who are listening in that might be your target audience, besides follow you and get involved with the Alliance, what would you like to tell them?
I would say, I think the biggest thing I've learned is just that you're not alone, that like there are probably hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe more people going through perhaps not exactly the same thing as you are, because everyone's circumstances are unique, but something similar. And the coolest thing is that a lot of people are doing something about it. So yeah, that's what I would say. You're not alone, and there are people out there that are slowly speaking up and taking notice. And I hope that more people will continue doing that and, kind of losing that inhibition a little bit and actually talking, because it's everywhere, like I said before. Yes.
Thank you, Tania. That's amazing. I am so glad that SASHA is doing the work that it is with the community, and I think you're right that there are more people speaking up and creating projects and organizations to serve this important need. So I, for one, am very grateful that this movement is happening and gaining speed. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your work. So thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So tomorrow is the last of the 25 days of sex ed. So you should definitely tune in because it's going to be a really fun one, just silly stuff. So you should enjoy it. And as always, thank you so much for being part of this project. And if you want to support me and make sure that more sex ed can come to the community at a free or affordable rate, you should check out store.intimatehealthconsulting.com and think about purchasing a coaching session or making a donation. Help me get through nursing school so I can buy groceries and things like that. Very important. All right. Thank you all and have a great night.